Hello, good afternoon. My name is Veronica Hernandez. I am currently a student at Grand Canyon University. I am working on my master's in school counseling, and this is my second and a half year in this program. So I'm about to finish, which I'm really excited for. The reason I'm recording this video is just as a reflective tool to see how far I've come and just to kind of touch base on where I'm going and how I've grown as a student from the beginning of my courses up until now. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start answering some of these reflection questions. So the first question says, how have you grown personally and professionally through the course of your entire program? So I'll start off with professionally. I feel like when I first started this program, I had no clue what I was getting myself into. I knew I wanted to be a school counselor. I've always had a passion for working with students. I've been in the elementary school setting for about 8 years now, and I just figured it was time to kind of, push my boundaries a little bit more and finally go back and get my master's degree in something that I'm passionate about, which is helping students beyond the classroom. Now, starting the program for me was very eye-opening. I think the courses, if anything, were the most that I gained from. I learned a lot about, the ethical standards. I learned about different skill sets and practices, ways to work with students, and just, different things that we as counselors will need when we're working with our different populations. How have I grown personally? I think personally, I've just gotten a lot more confidence. I, again, started very nervous and scared, and I feel like now I feel very confident when it comes to my courses. I know I can do the coursework. I'm not afraid to, ask questions and just seek more knowledge. I'm more open-minded about learning from other people and learning from my counseling supervisor and just getting more hands-on experience in the counseling field. Okay, the second question, it says, what personal and professional revelations have occurred shaping your experience? So I feel like the hands-on experience that I've gotten has been the best learning environment for me. Working at both my internship schools, I did one internship at the middle school, and my second internship I'm working, which I'm completing in about 2 weeks, I did it in an elementary school setting. So for me, I was able to really compare a middle school setting and an elementary school setting, and just kind of see the difference as far as the school counselor's responsibilities. The biggest revelation, I think, for me has been that no student's experiences are going to be the same. Every child comes with different backgrounds, different parents, different opinions. And I think, if anything, I've seen it firsthand in my school setting, as well as learning throughout the different courses, that we always go back to like ethics. We always go back to the law. We always go back to what is in the best interest of the child. It's been there's been challenging occasions, and sometimes I just kind of step back and I see how my school counselor handles it, and then I kind of think, well, would I have handled it the same way, or how would I have approached the same situation? I feel like I've also gained a lot of insight from just my professors. You learn best from other professionals in the same field. I don't think, we ever stop learning, especially in the field of education, or especially in the field of counseling. We always have to be just willing to take in new information. I've also really enjoyed like having our Zoom meetings and our internships. I think it's really nice to be able to collaborate with the different students in the classroom, and to kind of hear everybody's experiences in different states, and with different clinical supervisors, and what they're going through, and how that could be a learning process even for ourselves. Okay, the third question, it says, what has been your greatest accomplishment during this program? And what has been your greatest challenge? So I think I'll start with my greatest challenge, which can also be, I guess, my greatest accomplishment. I feel like my greatest challenge has been just definitely balancing life in general. Being a single mom, working a full-time job, doing a master's, and just having time to do things outside of all of that. That's been a challenge. Going back to school after almost 8 years for me was a huge challenge. I was very nervous to even apply to this program, but now that I'm on year 2, I've really found that being organized and strategically doing homework on certain days, and I just giving myself like a plan to work with has helped me out a lot. Time management has been a big improvement in my life. And even though it's been a challenge, it's also been an accomplishment because I've proven to myself that I am capable of doing, college degree beyond just my bachelor's. So for me, it's definitely been an accomplishment, and it's kind of opened my eyes. Just looking forward, I'm still considering, am I going to go back to school for a doctorate, or am I going to go straight in and take my national state exams for counseling and get my LPC? Or I'm very open-minded right now. I feel very excited for what the future holds, and if it wasn't for Grand Canyon, I don't think I would have had it as easy, because Grand Canyon offers a lot of support for their students, which for me has been the best blessing. Okay, the fourth question, it says, reflecting on your self-assessment data from all of your courses, how will you strategize and plan for continued growth and development as a school counselor? So self-assessment is a key to success. I think we're always being assessed, whether it's by the district, or it's more like evaluations, I guess, that we get, whether it's by the district or by administration. But self-assessment is a good reflection tool, and I think we should always be reflective of our practice. And one of the biggest things that I've always told myself is that I'm always a learner at heart. I don't think I will ever say I'm a professional in this field. I think I'm always going to be very humble and open to just growing in this field, especially with the big push in mental health. I think school counselors have a very vital role to play, especially right now after the pandemic. And with our students, we've seen a high rise in students struggling with mental health, as well as adults. And so for me, it's going to be a lot of continued professional development, seeking tools to continue growing as a school counselor, and going back to taking trainings. I'm lucky because my school has offered to take me with my school counselors to the ASCA National Conference this summer, which for me, that's going to be an amazing just journey, knowing that ASCA is who certifies our counselors statewide, and just seeing how everything kind of comes into action from firsthand being at those kinds of conferences. I'm just really excited. And so for me, it's just going to be to continue growing, seeing new ways to develop my counseling skills and to add more to my counseling tool belt. How will you utilize strategies for personal and professional self-evaluation to modify your school counseling practice? So it's going back to evaluation. So professionally, our school counseling program gets evaluated. I know that our program gets evaluated because of with the 4 domains, and we always want to go back to like our vision, our mission, and our goals, and seeing how they all align to the schools and the district's vision and then seeing how different data plays out in establishing goals for our schools and for our students. I'm not sure exactly what setting I'm going to be placed in, but I know that my job is going to be just always be reflective, and to always evaluate myself before I get professionally evaluated. Um, Evaluation is like a reflective tool, and we should always be able to look at our strengths as well as our weaknesses. So when we're being evaluated, not to take it personally, it's not like people are nitpicking. It's just a great way for people to see, or for us as professionals to see where we can continue improving our craft, and what areas we've noticed that either we did not meet our goals or our goals were lacking, and seeing how we can push forward to possibly the next year, revisiting those goals and how we can actually meet those goals. What else? Personal school counseling practice. So the strategies, I think we're always going to be adapting new strategies. I don't think there's specific strategies that apply, like one applies for all. I think the more strategies that we learn, the more theories that we learn, the more that we can put in practice. It's important to think that, we're going to be working with diverse populations. Not every child is going to handle difficult situations the same way. Not every teacher is going to require the exact same support. So I think it's important to just be well-rounded and to know a little bit of every avenue. I know I've learned about a couple theories. I haven't been able to put all of them into practice. So I think that's going to be, a learning experience on its own, just researching more practices, seeing what applies best to which student and to what circumstance. And I think just collaborating, being a team player, working with other counselors within our school system, within our district, within our feeder patterns. I feel like that's the strongest way to build your counseling identity is through just always continuing to revisit those strategies and those skills. And if you know that you're not strong in a specific area, then seeking for help or advice in that area to just continue to learn and grow as a school counselor. So overall, I feel very proud of myself that I've come this far with this program. I've really enjoyed being a student at Grand Canyon. I still have a couple more classes to go, so I can't say goodbye just yet, but I can start looking and planning for the future. I know that I should be done with all of my courses possibly by March next year. So looking forward, my goal is to just finish off my last classes, sign off on the hours on my internship. 4.0 GPA, which for a single mom working a full-time job, doing school at night, that's a huge accomplishment. So I pat myself on the back. And I don't know if anybody were to ask me if I would recommend Grand Canyon, I would most definitely 100% say yes. So thank you for listening, and that'd be all. Have a great night.